Capricorn, stop scrolling for a moment. There's something in the energy around you right now that you need to hear, something that's been waiting to reach you at the exact right time. Someone has been silently watching you, replaying your words, analyzing your every move, and they're about to do something that will shake your world in a way you never imagined. Before we go deeper, take a deep breath like you're about to open a secret letter meant only for your spirit. And if your heart already feels that strange pull, pause right now and comment, "I feel this," because that's how the universe recognizes you. That's how this message finds who it truly belongs to. And don't forget to tap subscribe and turn on that bell, because these messages are never random. They're divine alignments sent at the exact moment you need clarity most. Something is shifting around you, Capricorn. You've been focusing on rebuilding, on standing strong again after heartbreak, disappointment, or betrayal. You've learned to smile even when the world felt heavy, and that strength, that quiet resilience has been noticed. Someone who once underestimated your value has been feeling that energy like an echo they can't escape. You thought they forgot about you, but the truth is, they've been trapped in your vibration. They've been drawn back to you, unable to explain why you never left their mind. Think about this. Sometimes silence is not rejection. Sometimes it's fear of confronting how deeply someone feels. You remind them of a version of themselves they're still afraid to meet. Princess Diana once said she could tell when someone truly loved her, not by their words, but by their silence. She felt love in the way someone's energy changed when she entered the room. Capricorn, that's the kind of connection we're talking about. Someone's silence toward you hasn't been indifference, it's been confusion. They loved you, but they didn't know how to match your strength, your truth, your emotional depth. For a while they tried to convince themselves it wasn't real. They told friends, "I've moved on." They even started seeing other people, trying to fill the gap that you left behind. But here's what's strange, every person they met mirrored a small piece of you, and the more they searched, the more they realized you were the only one who ever saw their real self. They replayed old conversations, remembering the way your tone shifted when you gave advice, the way your silence held more meaning than their words. They miss how your energy calmed them when the world felt chaotic. Spiritually, this connection has been trying to pull you both together again. The universe has a way of rearranging everything to bring truth to the surface. Just like Ruth followed Naomi, saying, "Where you go, I will go," someone has realized that destiny will not give them peace until they take action. They've ignored the signs before: dreams, songs, repeating numbers, moments of déjà vu, but now it's too strong. Everywhere they turn, something reminds them of you. Their phone plays a song you both loved, or they pass by a place you once visited together, and the memory hits like a heartbeat. This person's life looks fine on the outside, but inside there's chaos. They've been fighting an inner war. Napoleon Bonaparte once conquered nations, but he couldn't conquer his heart for Josephine. That's how this person feels: powerful in every other area, but powerless when it comes to you. They might have everything others dream of: success, attention, stability. Yet they feel incomplete, restless, haunted by what they once had with you. They've been pretending, but the act is collapsing. They've reached the point where silence hurts more than pride. You might have noticed subtle signs, too: a random dream that felt too real, a sudden wave of emotion out of nowhere, or that feeling of someone thinking about you when you're alone. It's not your imagination, it's their energy trying to reconnect. When two souls share unfinished lessons, the universe will always find ways to bridge the distance. Capricorn, lately your soul has been sensing movement, not physical but energetic. Something is pulling toward you, and it's about to manifest in real time. Think about how the universe works in loops. Justin Bieber once said many of his most emotional songs came from heartbreak he thought he'd escaped. He turned pain into melody, absence into art. That's what's happening with this person. Their emotions are creating ripples that reach you even if you've blocked them, even if you think you've healed. They're trying to suppress what they feel, but it keeps turning into signs, into energy that follows you through your days. You've probably felt moments lately where you suddenly thought of them for no reason. Maybe you even said, "Why am I thinking about this person again?" It's because their spirit keeps tugging at yours. They're afraid, but their fear is losing against the pull of truth. They've rehearsed conversations in their mind, how they'd apologize, how they'd explain, how they'd tell you they never stopped loving you. But when the moment comes, words fail them. They imagine your face, your expression, the calm power in your eyes, and they freeze. Here, what you need to understand: When you finally stopped chasing, something reversed. The moment you began focusing on peace, on purpose, the universe shifted the energy. The one who once ran from you now feels the urge to chase. The one who thought they had control is now losing control. The one who thought they could forget you is now being reminded daily. You became the lesson they didn't want to learn but couldn't escape. Every great love story carries a moment of divine reversal, the instant when the person who left realizes they've been circling back to the same soul all along. In history, Cleopatra and Mark Antony had that kind of magnetic pull. Despite empires, distance, and politics, their connection defied logic. That's the energy around you now. It doesn't care about time or pride, it only cares about alignment. You might have noticed lately that your energy feels different, lighter, calmer, but also charged with anticipation. That's your intuition sensing movement behind the scenes. This person has reached their emotional breaking point. They're restless, distracted, and haunted by thoughts of you. They check your social media, scroll through old pictures, and wonder if you still think about them. They pretend not to care, but every part of them aches to reach out. Capricorn, don't underestimate how powerful your energy is. You've become their mirror. Your peace reminds them of what they lost. Your glow makes them realize they were the ones who walked away from something irreplaceable. They can't stop comparing every new experience to the one they had with you. Every laugh, every conversation, every silence reminds them of how different it felt when it was you. I'll tell you a true story. There was a man who once lost the love of his life because he wasn't ready for her. They were young, full of dreams, but he was distracted by ambition and pride. She left quietly, choosing peace over confusion. Years later, when he finally built his career and achieved success, he felt empty. He attended an event, and as he looked across the crowd, he saw her standing there, glowing, radiant, at peace. She was married now, happy, and the look on her face told him everything. He realized that success without her felt hollow. That night, he went home and wrote in his journal, "I conquered my goals but lost my soul." Capricorn, that's how your person feels now. They gained everything but lost the one thing that made it meaningful, you. Even if you've tried to move on, the bond between you two carries unfinished spiritual work. It's as if the universe pressed pause on your connection, waiting for both of you to evolve before pressing play again. Now, that moment is approaching. They're standing at the edge of a decision to stay silent and lose you forever, or to step forward and risk vulnerability. Have you ever noticed how sometimes the strongest souls are tested through love? You've carried so much silently, Capricorn. You've forgiven people who never apologized. You've stayed loyal when others were uncertain, and now the universe is about to reward that. Someone's conscience is waking up, and they can't escape the truth anymore. There's something divine about timing. Look at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed, abandoned, and forgotten, yet when the time was right, those who rejected him came back needing his help. That's what's happening spiritually. The same people who thought they could do better are realizing the value of your presence. They're being humbled by life, reminded that not all love can be replaced. They're planning their move carefully. They might ask mutual friends about you, they might find excuses to see you, or they might reach out through a random message that seems harmless but carries deep intention. They're nervous because they don't know how you'll react. They're unsure if you'll open the door again, but something in their spirit is pushing them forward. You see, love isn't just emotion, it's energy. And energy doesn't disappear, it transforms, it travels, it seeks closure or renewal. That's why even in their silence, you felt their presence. You felt sudden emotions that weren't yours, moments of warmth or sadness that came out of nowhere. That's how strong this connection is. Let me tell you another real story. There was a woman who once loved a man deeply, but he was too caught up in his past to see her worth. She left quietly, choosing herself. Years later, when she had built a peaceful life, he came back broken, realizing she had been his balance all along. When he confessed, she smiled sadly and said, "Sometimes love teaches us through absence." Capricorn, that's the kind of realization that's unfolding right now. Someone is being taught through your absence. They're finally seeing what they couldn't see before. And it's not just them. You've also grown. You're not the same person they remember. The wounds they caused turned into wisdom. The silence they gave you became your strength. You learned to thrive without validation, to love without expectation, to shine without permission. That's why this energy feels different now. The universe doesn't bring back old connections to repeat pain, it brings them back to test evolution. You might start noticing more signs, numbers like 1111, 222, or 555, sudden feelings of anticipation, dreams where they appear looking sorrowful or reaching out. These are messages from your higher self confirming what's coming. Don't ignore them. Stay centered, stay grounded, but be aware that destiny is moving around you. Capricorn, the truth is, someone is about to take a bold step. They've been quiet too long, but the silence has become unbearable. They've realized that time isn't healing them, it's making the ache stronger. They've tried distractions, but nothing fills the void. They're planning something, and it's closer than you think. Their heart has reached its limit. The universe has cornered them with signs, dreams, and emotions until they can no longer resist. Think of it like a movie, the scene just before everything changes. The air is still, the tension thick, the next moment unpredictable. That's where you are now, standing on the edge of revelation. And the person whose name you almost forgot is the one whose energy has never stopped whispering your name in silence. Capricorn, lately you've been feeling that strange restlessness again, the one you can't quite explain. You wake up with someone on your mind, even when you swore you were done with them. You keep catching glimpses of their name in random places, hearing a song that pulls memories out of nowhere, or feeling a sudden wave of emotion that doesn't belong to you. You try to brush it off, but deep down you know something is happening. It's not coincidence, it's a divine alignment. Someone who once walked away, or someone you thought you'd never hear from again, is being pulled back toward you by a force they can't control. The energy around you is vibrating with anticipation, and this time, Capricorn, it's not about pain, it's about revelation. You see, when a soul connection reaches a certain depth, no distance or silence can dissolve it. The heart always finds a way to send signals, and right now, someone is getting ready to break the silence that's been haunting both of you. They've been fighting it for months, pretending everything is fine, keeping busy, talking to others, laughing in public, but when night falls, their mind travels back to you. Every distraction fades, and only your memory remains. Their conscience is louder than ever. It started subtly for them, flashes of your smile, a dream that felt too real, a sudden urge to check your page. Then came the sleepless nights, the heavy chest, the strange sense that something unfinished was calling them back. And now the feeling is unbearable, like a whisper that's become a thunder. They've tried to fight it, but the truth keeps echoing, they never stopped loving you. Capricorn, this energy has been building slowly, like a storm gathering strength. You might have noticed you've been feeling more emotional lately, more intuitive, almost as if you can sense their heartbeat through the air. That's not your imagination. You're feeling their soul reaching for you. When two souls share a karmic tie, emotions flow like invisible electricity. You're the calm to their chaos, and right now, that balance is what they crave. They've been hiding behind their pride for too long, and it's starting to crack. Their world isn't as perfect as it looks. Every success feels empty because they can't share it with you. Every smile fades when the thought of you sneaks in. And that's where the universe works in mystery. When the one who hurt you starts feeling the same pain they caused, it's because the cycle is ready to shift. There's a story I once heard about a woman named Grace who loved a man deeply, but he wasn't ready for her kind of love. He took her for granted, thinking she'd always be there. So she walked away, not with anger, but with silence. Years later, that same man found himself successful but lonely. He admitted that every woman he met afterward reminded him of Grace in some way, her laugh, her eyes, her kindness. One day, he saw her by chance at an airport. She was smiling, holding a child's hand. She looked radiant, fulfilled. He froze. The weight of his regret hit him so hard that he said later it was the first time he truly understood love. Capricorn, that's what's happening to someone right now. The realization of what they lost is becoming unbearable. They're not sleeping well. They keep remembering the way you listened to them when no one else cared, how you could sense what was wrong even when they said they were fine. You were a rare piece, and now they're realizing it too late. Or maybe, just maybe, not too late, because something tells me the universe isn't finished with this story yet. You've noticed strange shifts, haven't you? Things falling into place in ways that don't make sense. Running into mutual friends who mention their name, seeing numbers that feel like signs, feeling that deep internal knowing that something is coming. That's the universe's way of saying, get ready. Someone is preparing to make a move that will surprise you, not because they suddenly became brave, but because destiny gave them no other choice. They've been pretending they don't care, but deep inside, they've been building courage. Their pride has been whispering, "Don't do it," but their soul screams, "You'll regret it forever if you don't." That's how powerful your energy is. You've been a lesson, a memory, and a mirror. You showed them who they could be, but they ran from it. Now they're being forced to face it. Sometimes when people meet the right person at the wrong time, the universe lets them fall apart, not as punishment, but as preparation. That's what's happened here. This person had to lose you to understand you. They had to be without your energy to realize what peace feels like. And now, they're realizing no one else gives them that same calm. You might think they've moved on, but they haven't. You might think you've been forgotten, but you haven't. You've been the quiet thought haunting their every decision. There's a power in silence. The Bible says that after the storm came a still small voice, and that's where God spoke. Capricorn, you've entered that quiet space where truth reveals itself. The stillness before destiny unfolds. Your person is right now standing on the edge of a major decision. Their life feels like it's spinning out of control, and they know the only thing that ever grounded them was you. Let me tell you something that will sound almost prophetic. Someone who once walked away from you is about to risk something big. It might not make sense at first, but their action will be bold. They might reach out unexpectedly, send a long message, or even show up in person. And when it happens, you'll feel it before it comes. You'll have a day where your energy feels different, like your soul is on alert. That's how you'll know the shift has begun. Do you remember the story of David? Before he ever became king, he faced giants no one else dared to fight. But that battle wasn't about power, it was about preparation. He was being positioned for his purpose. The same way, this connection you've been through wasn't just about romance. It was spiritual preparation. You were being trained to stand in your worth, to love without losing yourself, to learn that separation is sometimes the bridge to transformation. Your person is finally learning the same lesson. Life is stripping away their distractions. The people they thought would replace you are revealing their true faces. The things they chased aren't bringing joy anymore. Everything they built feels unstable. That's not bad luck, it's divine correction. The universe has a way of removing illusions when it's time for truth. I'll share another true story. There was a famous artist who had everything, fame, money, and people around him all the time. But one night, he confessed in an interview that he felt completely alone. He said, "There's only one person who ever really saw me." The interviewer asked who that was, and he said, "She was a writer I dated before all this. She understood my silences." When asked if he'd tried to reach out, he said, "Every day, but I'm afraid she won't recognize me anymore." That's what your person feels, Capricorn, the fear that you've outgrown them, the fear that you've healed too much to let them back in. And that fear is driving them to act before it's too late. They're at a breaking point where staying silent hurts more than rejection. The guilt, the memories, the longing, it's all catching up to them. The same way a river can only hold back so much before it floods, their emotions are about to overflow. They're not thinking straight anymore. All they know is that losing you once was painful, but losing the chance again would destroy them. You might be asking yourself why the universe would allow someone who hurt you to come back. The truth is, sometimes closure comes not through forgetting, but through understanding. This isn't about reopening old wounds, it's about completing a spiritual cycle. Whether this person comes back to stay or just to apologize, it's meant to release both of you from what's unfinished. You'll finally see why it had to happen this way. Capricorn, every test you've faced in love has been refining you. The loneliness you felt wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You've been building emotional intelligence, strength, and peace, the kind that doesn't depend on anyone else. That's why you're glowing now. That glow isn't just physical, it's spiritual, and it's drawing them in like gravity. Let me tell you one more story before I show you what's next. There was a couple separated for years. The woman moved on, but the man never did. He wrote her letters every year on her birthday, though he never sent them. When she lost her husband years later, one of those letters found its way to her through a mutual friend. In it, he wrote, "I prayed for your happiness, even if it wasn't with me." That letter changed everything. They met again, older and wiser, realizing love never truly left. It just transformed. Capricorn, someone is writing their own version of that letter right now, in messages they type and erase, in thoughts they whisper before sleep, In prayers they send into the universe, hoping they reach your heart. There's a calm before something big, and you can feel it. Your intuition keeps telling you something coming. Don't ignore that pull. You've been divinely positioned for this moment. The energy is aligning, the truth is surfacing, and the person whose name you stopped saying out loud is about to step out of the shadows. You don't have to do anything, just keep your heart steady and your peace strong. Capricorn, if this message has been stirring something in your chest, that's your confirmation. Comment, I claim this, to align yourself with the energy that's already unfolding. Tap that subscribe button if you want to stay connected, because every time you engage, you're opening another door of awareness, and trust me, you don't want to miss what the universe is about to reveal next. Something hidden is on its way to the surface, and when it does, it will rewrite the story you thought was over.